Welcome to another episode of Auto Spec Renew. Today is a fantastic opportunity. We are visiting the guys at Tremec Electric GT to discover their brand new bolt-on system that they've installed on this fantastic Mustang. So let's check them out. Hey Eric, good to see you again.
Hey Jerome, likewise. Thanks for coming to Tremec Electric GT here in California.
Nice. So, like everyone, I know about Electric GT for the few production cars you've done, so conversion to electric classics. But I understand it's a completely new business now with Tremec, so tell us more.
It's so much different. From the days of when we converted the world's electrified Ferrari, we've come to developing a modular, scalable system of all new components to take out all the difficulties that are associated with conversions and the consistency to bring essentially a tier one quality component to the aftermarket and to limited manufacturing.
All right, so again, completely different business model. And to show us what you've done, you prepared quite a Mustang over there. So
it is a great demonstration of a platform system, and I can't wait to show it to you and then let you drive it.
All right, let's check it out.
Are you ready to drive this?
Let's go. Let's do it. All right, so tell me more about the drivetrain you've installed and designed and why it could change the whole conversion to EV ecosystem.
Yeah, sure. What's unique about this, Jerome, is we basically find you want to keep the weight in your car as balanced as possible and close to the original as possible. That's the number one. Number two is an easy installation. We build up the entire system in the shop, bench test it, pre-harness it, pre-plumb it, easy to install. The new motor block is kind of our 2.0 for our 413 and our 513 systems. It basically drops in about 43 to 45 kilowatt hours with an optional module on the bottom to reduce that a little bit into the motor bay onto LS mounts or to Coyote mounts. Super straightforward. The accessories, air conditioner, heater components can also fit right around, and standard smaller radiators, super easy. And then a pack in the rear of the car to replace the weight of the fuel tank and the exhaust systems. You've come out with basically a 50-50 car within 100 pounds of the original weight on this particular car itself. And then the drive unit is about 400 to 500 horsepower, depending on which motor we have, with what we call our TKE. And it fits, it's about 150 pounds, 147 pounds, fits right into where the transmission was. And in this case, the Tremec had a TKX that fit in the Mustang, fits right into the trans tunnel. And that allows us to put the motor block with all the batteries, the BMS, all the small components, packaged into something neat. When you pop the hood, it looks cool and fairly easy to put in the car.
All right. What are your solutions, say, for the VCU and battery management system? Do you have your own component?
Yeah, the Tremec has basically gotten the VCU and the controller, so we have all the software, control the software. There will be a BMS as we integrated into that, so we basically own the entire system. We'll have an Empel motor driving probably the gearbox. It's battery packs we build up in-house, so we do all the installation of the BMS, and we basically test everything, and it's all pre-wired into the system, so you don't have to be an EV expert to put in the system. And this same system could go on a 66 Mustang. You can put this in a truck. You could put this in an SUV, in a D110. It fits in a number of different vehicles, and it can be used over and over again. You get to know how to use it and install it. It goes in one car, it can go in another. It's fairly straightforward. Interfaces with a number of gauges and instruments.
So are you working with a network of installers throughout the US, and also who could become an installer?
We're really targeting the low volume manufacturers, people who are doing 5, 10, 50, 100 vehicles, and the aftermarket of installers. We'll work with anyone who wants it. We're building an educational network that allows people to get familiar with using high voltage, including some safety training, and that's something that we're going to be rolling out later this year as well.
All right, Eric, let's go a bit deeper into the system, the front battery pack and the cooling system. Tell us more.
Yeah, let's start with it. In a car like this, your motor block weighs something of 400, 600 pounds. There's a lot of weight that comes out. What we do is try to fill that space with a functional block of components for the EV system. What you get here is the main weight that you're replacing in your motor bay is your battery enclosures. So we custom engineer a battery enclosure. We're using a lithium-ion format, VDA modules. They're about 11 in this unit. In this case, we have a high voltage junction box enclosed inside of the main battery enclosure. Underneath, we have an accessory add-on battery module that adds 4 more modules inside of that. So we basically get in about a 450-pound block 43 kilowatt hours roughly right here in the front. And in this place you have your motorsports inverter that we're using packaged here. It's a unique packaging. And then we have a charger in this case we put here because we had room for it, but it could be moved anywhere. It's a water cooled charger, 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger. And then you see just our fusing and everything else, but we have our 2 radiators in the front as well. One system's for your charging and your motor. We have a liquid cooled motor, a liquid cooled charger, and then in some cases we have a liquid cooled inverter. In this case we don't. And yeah.
Going back to the battery pack and the additional modules at the bottom, it gives it almost a V shape, or at least a T shape. Is that something you did on purpose?
It's a really good question, Jerome. The reason we do the battery pack like this is because rather than have someone try to figure out how to build the whole system in component parts and put it all together and become an expert, is we basically bake all your VCU, your BMS, your thermal management of the pack for heating and cooling, your DC fast charging, everything into the block, and we make it so it can be dropped into the car, and you can have an LS mounts pick it up or Coyote mounts pick it up, and you're putting it in where it fits in. So the only other accessories you have to put in some cases are your air conditioning compressor, or in some cases a heat pump, whatever we're going to add to the system. But it all fits right back into the car, and the concept is the fab and fit install is pretty easy for any aftermarket shop or a low volume manufacturer to address. Well, here you have the Tremec TKE, which is basically 400 to 500 horsepower combined with a 2.4 to 1 ratio direct drive transmission. Essentially, it's about 150 pounds, produces 400 to 500 horsepower, directs straight to your drive shaft, fits in your transmission tunnel, which allows us to put that motor block right up in front. Easy installation, bolts right in where a tranny puts in. Comes back and it feeds your rear diff right through your drive shaft. It's a really unique application. In the rear end, you got to replace your fuel tank weight, you got to replace your exhaust system weight. We put a small battery pack in there to put the weight back in and keep the weight where it was meant to be in the rear of the car. And that's what brings us back up with an additional kilowatt package in the back.
All right, so take me through the procedure.
Pretty straightforward. Turn the key on.
Yes.
Wait for your AEM screen to boot up here. You're live.
Yeah.
728 volts. We're running an 800 volt system.
Nice.
Right, that's
quite unique. Yes.
And
Do you choose the 800 volt for a charging option or for the performance?
both. It's for performance, but for charging, and it's more efficient than 400 as well. It's what we think the industry standard should be.
All right.
And then press your brake pedal and into drive. There you go. The car fires up. You're good to go.
So on this, we've got about 400 horsepower and 430 Newton meter of torque. And let's see how it translates on the road. All right.
Right turn.
Let's go back to the transmission and the gearbox.
Yep, so we got a 2.4 to 1 a straight gear reduction ratio.
Yeah.
You have a motor that does about 16,000 RPMs and about 430 Newton meters.
Yes.
So it's got a real good amount of torque. And it's nice because it bolts right onto a drive shaft, right into your rear pumpkin, and you can change your rear end ratios as well. So, you know, this car's particular setup, it's real power, it's kind of in that 30 to 80 miles an hour. So from 0 to 30, it's not as fast as it could be. I think it's done about 4.5 seconds. But in when you get into that 30 to 80, because it was originally set up as more of a drag car,
you can tell really, it's quite firm.
Yeah, super explodes. So it's just a really unique demonstration platform for a vehicle.
So what's the plan with this development car? Where will be... Oh, let's start again. So what's the future of this particular development car? Where people will be able to see it?
Yeah, we're not sure. The car's going to move around probably to different events. It's definitely an in-house vehicle to test the system. We'll be able to test our DC fast charging on it and make refinements to the gears, and then how it interacts with other things like different clusters. So we'll use it for very much of R&D, and hopefully on April 13th we'll get to see it out in Long Beach.
Nice.
I've heard some rumors about that event already. And then we'll have a schedule that comes out on it. But what's neat is the system that's in this car is going to start coming out, and we're going to be delivering this as kind of a revised, our 2.0 version, if you will. It's a modular battery platform that offers between about 63 as a base kilowatt function that's in this car. So this car has 63 kilowatt hours, is the same weight, and has about 225 to 250 miles range. So super functional package.
All right, let's be mindful of the speed limit. Going back to charging, right now it has what, like a 50 kilowatt?
Standard onboard charging is your 6.6 OBC, your level 2 charging, 30 to 50 amps, and then our DC fast charging will have at least a base rate of 50 kilowatt.
Yes.
And we'll have that's coming out with all of our systems this year as well.
Perfect.
So this 413, our 513 ultimately, and our more powerful systems will have the same charging. They'll have the DCFC or the CCS standard.
So you're saying you will start delivering probably this summer. What's the procedure to order a full system, and how does it work as far as individual potentially ordering, especially if they order from abroad, or do they need to find a specialist near them to reach out to you guys?
Yeah, we're still supporting a number of individuals that are technically qualified to sell, so we do direct sales, and we can be reached at electricgt.com. We have a direct number on the website. As part of Tremec, that's the way to get straight to us in the EV division.
Yes.
And we are also filling out a lot of orders to shops. The people where clients see our brand and they ask their shop to install it. So we'll often take a direct order, and a client will have us ship our system to their shop, and we'll walk a shop through and provide support with installation. And the idea of having a bench tested system available makes it easy for us to walk someone through. It's not as complicated as building your own system, and by the fact that we pre-bench tested at our facility before we ship it to a shop proves that it runs and it's easier to do the installation. It requires a bit of fab and fitment, but it's getting easier and easier.
And you did mention training earlier. Will you be providing training for individual or for the trade?
Yeah, we'll be doing trade training for the certification of installer programs, as well as we light up our distribution network. We have an elite distribution network as part of Tremec, and as we make our products available to the aftermarket, we'll ultimately have training associated with that as well. And for shops that do low volume manufacturing of particular vehicles or restorations of vehicles, we offer training for them as well, and it's a perfect fit for exactly who we're targeting.
So tell me more about Tremec, what they bring to you guys, and as far as R&D and production.
Yeah, sure. No, it's exciting for us because, as you know, in the EV world, it's really expensive. Battery systems, it's expensive. And in Electric GT, we were super successful, but we needed to have manufacturing experience to really get to the next stage where we can bring the product prices down. Because the EV conversions are expensive, and we want to bring those down by 30% at least over the next 2 years. So our discussions at Tremec led to our acquisition with Tremec, and they've got over 1 million square feet of manufacturing, and that gives us the ability to really ramp up production and scale up deliveries and use that square footage. And we're with over 4,000 people on staff. We've got an extremely professional tier 1 supply chain and manufacturing experience.
It's really something we've noticed in the industry, more and more OEMs gathering with specialists to bring an even better product and manufacture at scale complete systems. So next year is going to be quite exciting because more and more solutions will be coming not only for the trade, but also eventually for the individuals.
Well, what's I've been finding is extremely unique. For Ford or GM, any of the tier 1s, the amount of money that they're going to be putting into an EV system is substantial to get a quality product. And the smaller manufacturers are folks in the aftermarket that want a high quality OEM quality system. it doesn't have the budget to do that. So with Tremec, we've got and are basically providing a tier 1 quality system that those companies wouldn't make available to the aftermarket per se, or to low volume manufacturing. So we're bringing up the quality of systems to the industry and bringing the cost down. And as a manufacturing organization, that is we're in a unique position to do that. So I think the next couple of years, what you're going to see coming out of Tremec is extremely exciting.
Talking about cost, do you have a price point in mind for a full conversion system?
Well, you can see by our Porsche system right now is around 70 grand, but as soon as we finish our full review of our bill of materials, etc., we'll be able to tell real specifically and bring that cost down. We'd like to see that get down into that $50,000 range. Wow. And if we can get down there, you're starting to talk about like the rebuild of any classic car between going through the motor and the system. That's almost similar in cost. So that's our target goal. Right now our systems run from the low end of about 40 grand up to a high end of 100 grand.
Okay.
And for the maximum battery pack, like this 413 is a minimum of 63 kilowatt hours in the base pack, but the technology's gotten better. The cell density's come up even in the last few years, and it goes up to about 100 kilowatt hours. Okay. So that it gives us a good range of application for various vehicles, and we like to see anything at least 150 miles plus on any build we do.
Well, it depends how you drive it.
Well, that's exactly the case.
But no, if you can bring a system for 50K eventually that gives you the performance that this offers, it would be fantastic. So yeah, the market is just waiting for solutions like yours. So I look forward to seeing more, and then maybe come back and test some more of your builds.
We'd love to show you more of Thukin's driving and take you to some of the factories and show you how we're bringing that cost down as well.
Yeah. All right, guys, if you like what you saw today, give us a like and subscribe, and maybe tell us what other system you'd like to see on the channel. Guys, I'll see you on the next one.
Thumbs up, follow.